Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheffield United Way. This isn't going to be your run of the mill match reaction to a game. Obviously, this is pre recorded. The main reason for that is you'll find out very, very soon. I wanted to have a bit more control over this one because it's something that's kind of really close to my heart. But quite a few things, bad things happened over the weekend. You're obviously aware of one. Over the weekend, the Blades lost in the playoff final. You'll have seen that we did a match reaction. It's got over 20,000 views, which is incredible. I just wish it wasn't for something that is negative, really, because most of the comments are from Sunderland fans and from Leeds fans and from Wednesday fans, all rubbing it in. Yeah, not great to be receiving notifications constantly. I had to turn notifications off on YouTube because I was getting them all through, and it was just depressing me even more. I think another reason why the match reaction that we did initially, straight after the game, we kind of took ourselves off from Wembley Way so that we could do it in a sort of corner bit where there weren't people walking past, jumping in front of the camera, Sunderland fans celebrating because we're in a bad way. And there was a couple of reasons for that. I think first of all, I'd had a bit too much to drink, which was probably a bad idea. You got a bit of more of an honest match reaction, even though I probably didn't make a lot of sense in that. As well as that, we've put in so much effort into this channel over the season. Myself, Hal, Ollie, all of us have put in a ton of work, mostly on the videos, not even counting Andrew and Dylan that have come on board recently. We've put so much work into this channel and put so much effort into it. And sacrifice relationships, sacrificing work sometimes, just to kind of bring the best possible content. I think it all kind of came to a head and it all kind of came to a very disappointing end. And especially the way that it happened, Watson scoring in the very last minute of the game. I shouldn't have done this, but in the heat of the moment, I just walked out of where we were sat and just sat in the concourse because I couldn't watch another team get promoted in a playoff final against us. I've watched it 4 times already. I couldn't watch it again. But yeah, that wasn't me being a diva. It sounds like it. That wasn't me being a diva. It was just me in the moment, just everything getting on top of me and just, it felt like that was the end. And it was the end of the season, but football goes on forever. And you're gonna find out in a second the reason why my outlook changed on this game very, very quickly. I slept on the coach home all the way home. My mate's wife gave me a lift back home from where we got dropped off, and yeah, practically just went to bed and slept it off. Obviously, slept off the drink as well. But in the morning, I had a call from my mum. God, whew, had to take a slight break then, but I had a call from my mum in the morning to tell us that my uncle Tony had died. And it made me think football's just not that important. Football goes on forever. There'll be relegations, there'll be promotions, there'll be disappointment, there'll be highs, there'll be lows, but football will carry on. Just a bit of backstory on my Uncle Tony. He has been a season ticket holder with me, my dad, my mum, my sister, etc., for a very long time. Ever since I started watching Sheffield United, my Uncle Tony was a season ticket holder. That's one of the main reasons why we saw him so regularly. We absolutely love my Uncle Tony, but the fact that we got to see him weekly, if not bi-weekly, at Bramall Lane, just to chat about the match, chat about our lives and stuff like that. It meant we stayed connected. And a few years ago now, he stopped going to the matches to look after my auntie because she wasn't very well. And then he became ill. I don't want to go into too many details because I don't think it's fair me divulging information, family information, um, on a YouTube channel talking about Sheffield United, but I wanted to bring it up as my Uncle Tony was literally one of the people that I grew up with watching Sheffield United. I'm not sure whether I'm going to pop a picture of him on screen or not. I'll decide that afterwards. But I just felt like he needed a shout out in this video because football brings people together, and it certainly brought us together as a family. I've always gone to matches with my dad, my mum, my sister, my other sister when she went. Now my nephews, my wife's been season ticket holder. My wife actually took the season ticket off my uncle Tony when he couldn't go anymore, and then she gave up her season ticket when she had our son and now our daughter. I suppose it's just a circle of life, really. My son and my daughter will be coming to games with me, and it'll keep being a family event, a thing that we do together to always see each other, share a common interest or love for something. I've literally got no idea how this is going to come out. I'm just waffling on and trying not to upset myself. I don't even know if I'm going to upload this video now, but we'll see. We'll crack on. So, yeah, so it was, a disappointing end to a season. I'm going to try and do some sort of match reaction now to give you what you came for. But yeah, the day started like really, really well. We jumped on the coach, got ourselves down to Wembley. We didn't go to the box park because we got told that if you're not there for 12, then you won't be let in. It looked great, so I hope everyone enjoyed themselves at the box park. But we went to the Torch, Crock of Gold. I'm trying to think where else we went now. I don't think we went to many, in all honesty. I think that we had an idea of where we wanted to go, and we ended up just staying in the Torch for the most part, and we met some fantastic people there. Yeah, it was just a lovely, lovely day prior to the game. I think we're all in high spirits as well. I think we all kind of thought that this was our time, and the match starting, it definitely felt like this was our time because we took it to them. We were the better side in the first half, for me anyway. Everyone's got their own opinions, but I think that we took it to them. They were trying to catch us on the break, but they didn't really, other than I think of my end header, where we weren't really marking him closely enough. I don't think they had a shot at Cooper in the first half. And obviously the goal came from Tyrese Campbell. I think it was just before that Mayenda header. 𝗏𝗏 absolutely sprints his heart off to get to the ball. He picks it up. Tyrese Campbell makes a fantastic run. Gus plays him through, and that's Tyrese Campbell's first goal in forever, it seems. And he took it so well, so well. It was one of those finishes that a lot of strikers have in their locker, but not all have got in their locker. And Patterson comes out to try and smother it, and he just lifts it over him effortlessly. And it's like Tyrese Campbell scored in 15 previous games because it just, elegantly flicked off his boot over the goalkeeper into the middle of the goal, and he's off celebrating. And that's why you have Tyrese Campbell in your side. And if we'd have been able to keep Tyrese Campbell on the pitch for 90 minutes in this game, this result might have been different in my eyes. Also, if we'd have been able to get 90 minutes out of Tyrese Campbell in a lot of games this season, would have finished on more points, I'm sure, because Tyrese Campbell's been one of the standout players of this season. He's been wonderful. And I don't think a lot of us expected him to be as good as what he was or what he is. So, yeah, it was great to see Tyrese get his goal. And then, the biggest talking point of the game happens. Ball into the box from the corner. It gets headed out. And Harrison Burrows takes a beautiful volley into the ground, into the corner, and we go absolutely crazy. My mate Ewan was on the next row, kissing them, hugging them, whoever they were. He didn't know, he didn't care. He was all over them. I was into the gangway celebrating on my own, and the game got halted and sent to VAR. And I'll let you guys in the comments tell me what you think. I'll give you my brief opinion, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because, we can argue about this until the cows come home. But I can see it from both points. Normally, when these are given offside, it's because the player that's in an offside position is stood in front of the goalie or blocking the goalie's vision. Now, this doesn't happen. 𝗍𝗫𝗍 is not in front of the goalkeeper. there is a defender in front of the goalkeeper, and there is 𝗤𝗄𝗎 in front of the goalkeeper. 𝗤𝗄𝗎 being in front of the defender, so he's definitely not offside. So the goalkeeper's trying to look round the defender and 𝗤𝗄𝗎 to see where it is. So he takes a step to his right-hand side, which takes him away from where the ball's going to end up. But then he dives to that side, knowing that it's going that way, and 𝗍𝗍𝐻𝗔's is in an offside position, potentially impeding his vision. So don't get me wrong, I think that this is offside. I think it was the right call. But what I don't think is the right call is the fact that it is clear and obvious, because that's my interpretation of VAR, is that if something is clear and obvious, the referee gets sent to the monitor to have another look at it. And in my opinion, I don't think that's clear and obvious. I think that's an opinion from the guy at Stockley Park. I think that's just a pure opinion. He thinks that he's impeding him, whereas if 𝗍𝗍𝐻𝗔's stood in his line of sight when the ball's kicked, then I get it, because he's not going to be able to move until he sees the ball. Whereas when it's kicked, he knows where the ball's going. He's diving in that direction, and 𝗍𝗍𝐻𝗔 is blocking his view. I get that. I don't know if 𝗍𝗍𝐻𝗔 is blocking it enough for him not to get it at all, because if 𝗍𝗍𝐻𝗔's not there, does the goalkeeper save this? Still not sure. It kind of goes back to the first leg of the playoffs where 𝗍𝗫𝗍 is blocking the player from clearing the ball on the line. Now, in that instance, I feel like that was right, because 𝗍𝗫𝗍 was blocking him, and I felt like the player would have cleared the ball off the line. This one, I don't know whether the goalkeeper's getting near it, but I might be wrong. So that's my brief, and everyone will know me. Who knows me knows that when I say brief, it means very, very long. So yeah, that's my brief take on that second goal that we scored, or the second goal that we didn't score. I do feel like what everybody's saying, it gave Sunderland a lift, because after that second goal, they were trudging away, walking away like it was over. And I genuinely think that if we'd have gone into half-time 2-0 up, they wouldn't have come back into this game, or even gone 2-0 up. I don't think they'd have got back into this game. Their body language suggested so. Every single Sunderland player was down in the dumps, walking back to the centre circle like they'd lost this playoff final. And the fact that rejuvenated them, that rejuvenated the crowd, the manager, all the staff, everyone. And if that goal never goes in, we may go and get another goal, and they're not rejuvenated, if you like. So, yeah, it was a weird one. A really, as Ollie would say, it is a weird one. He always says that. Remember that. Remember the next time Ollie does a video. It's a strange one. It's a weird one. So we go into half time, and I'm still full of beans. I see my mate Swifty and Stavum, and we're having a chat. And I said to Swifty straight away, I think Swifty's a similar age to me. I said, the amount of times we've been to these playoff finals and one goal wins them, it's not just us, it's a lot of teams. One goal quite often wins a playoff final. And the fact that we were 1-0 up at half time, I'd much rather be in that situation than 1-0 down. And I was saying to Swifty, I think we've done it. I think this is it. And the way that Sunderland were playing at that time didn't suggest that they were going to come back into this game. And in my opinion, I think where we lost it was taking off Tyrese Campbell. It just lost us that threat going forward. Now, Tom Cannon's not been firing on all cylinders. 𝗤𝗄𝗎, even though he's played well in the last few games, isn't a massive goal threat necessarily. You could say 𝗤𝗄𝗎 was, buzzing from scoring against Bristol City in the last game. But at the same time, Tyrese Campbell's on fire. He's scored a goal, and Tyrese Campbell is just a live wire. He's rapid. He gets stuck in. He holds the ball up well as well. He makes those runs as he did for the first goal. But he comes off, and I don't know whether Wilder was just protecting him. I don't know whether he had another 5 or 10 minutes in him. I don't know if he had a 90-minute game in him. but we didn't see that from 𝗬𝗏. Wilder pulled him off. He pulled Brewster off, and he brought on O'Hare, he brought on Brooks, he brought on Cannon, not saying in that order. And obviously, this also means that 𝗍𝗲𝗻 came off injured too. And I don't know whether Chris Wilder brings 𝗬𝗏 Campbell off if he knows 𝗍𝗲𝗻 is going to get injured. Because for me, losing those two players in such a short space of time, I think that gave them a little bit of confidence. And I think it lost us a little bit of confidence, in all honesty, because this season, 𝗬𝗏 Campbell, top goal scorer, 𝗍𝗲𝗻, player of the season. Like, you don't want to lose those two in a game like this. And I do quite often feel, not just Wilder, but other managers as well. Southgate did it for England against Italy, bringing off really important players to see it out. We brought off two of our most exciting, integral, important players, but we didn't park the bus. We kind of went like for like to a certain extent, but the players that came on just couldn't match what the players on the field were doing at that point. Obviously, Andre Brooks had his big, big chance where if he lifts that over the keeper's foot, that's it. Game over. But it's a great save from Patterson, similar to the great save that he made from 𝗤𝗏𝗻 earlier on in the game, like first, 70 seconds or something like that, I think it was. Fantastic save. So two really, really good saves from Patterson. And they scored two very, very good goals. The first goal, I think it was Second Tier Podcast, put a clip up of, I think it was Joe Bellingham flicking it. And I'm like, why are you showing that? That's rubbish. There's nothing there. And then another pass gets made, and another pass gets made, and another one. And then the ball's played through I think it's Patrick Roberts plays the beautiful ball through to Mayenda for a great finish. And I'm like, wow, I really didn't appreciate how good that first goal was for Sunderland until I've watched it back. Don't get me wrong, we should be better. We shouldn't be letting them do that to us, but it's a really, really good goal. I don't know where Burrows is. I think Burrows is a bit further upfield, and Jack Robinson gets caught with Mayenda getting away from him. Jack Robinson doesn't even try and slide in. I don't even think he thinks that he can get anywhere near him. So he just watches him smash the ball into the roof of the net. Nothing for Cooper to do there at all for me. And that gives them the impetus. That gives them, that confidence to get back into the game or go for the winner, should I say. They really had the tails up at that point. And, I felt like they came on to us. I don't think we really offered much. I think 𝗤𝗏𝗻 went down the left-hand side from a great 𝗬𝗏𝗫 ball, and he cuts inside, and he looks like he's going to shoot. I think it was so obvious that he was going to shoot. He's just waiting to pull the trigger, and then it was quite a comfortable block in the end. I think 𝗬𝗏 Campbell's asking for it. He should lay it across or do something different, maybe pretend to shoot and push it on one step further and have a go. But yeah, it was really, really easy to work out what 𝗤𝗏𝗻 was going to do at that point. And then the goal comes in the 95th minute, I think it is, from Tommy Watson. 𝗤𝗏𝗻 is at fault. He just is. But for me, I don't want to be blaming 𝗤𝗏𝗻. I don't want to be getting on 𝗤𝗏𝗻's back, because at the end of the day, I know that people say that football is just a job for players, but it's not, is it? I would say 90 to 95% of footballers get into football because they love the game. Like, yeah, there are some anomalies that, find out they're good at football, but most of those that find out that they're good at football don't really have the love for the game to keep going. Like, it's hard to become a footballer. So not for a second do I want to blame 𝗤𝗏𝗻 here, because 𝗤𝗏𝗻, he gives the ball away. It's pretty poor, but players have given worse passes away this season, but it's just really, really unlucky. It lands to, one of their best players. And I don't think a lot of Blades fans really knew about Tommy Watson before this game. I knew that he got injured earlier in the season and he was one of their best players. And he picks the ball. He's so young and he's going to Brighton. He's not even staying at Sunderland. So he scored the winner for them, and then he's chipping off to Brighton to play for them next season. You know, he might get a loan back to Sunderland now they're in the Premier League, but the fact that he scored this goal and it isn't really going to affect his career in any way is wild. But he comes inside. Hamza Chowdhury could get a little bit closer, I think. Cooper's vision is completely blocked by two players in front of him. It's one of the best ground level shots I feel like I've ever seen, because he bent it round the two players. It looks, if you watch it from behind, it looks like it's missing the post and it bends back in. And bearing in mind that Cooper is unsighted until the ball is past the two defenders, there's no blame for me lying at Cooper's door. But if Premier League clubs are going to look at that and think, we're not going to go in for him because he should have saved that, then fine. I'm happy to blame Cooper for that second goal. But no, for me, there's no blame on Cooper. There's no blame on Cooper at all, because that's just a fantastic shot. It looks like it rolls really, really slowly into the corner, agonizingly into the corner. And yeah, from where I was sat, it just picturing it again, just re-watching it back in my head, and it was just awful. An awful timed goal for us. 5 playoff finals, 5 playoff final defeats, 10 playoff campaigns, 10 playoff campaign defeats. It's got to change at some point, but I really just don't know when that's going to be. And somebody on the fan cam said, hopefully before I die. And he was maybe 20 years older than me. So I've got 20 years on that chap. But yeah, it still doesn't feel like it's going to come anytime soon. It really doesn't. But yeah, that was it. That was it. But I want to leave you with this, the fact that football is not the end of the world. It's really not. It's the people that you go with. It's the memories that you make. Just make sure you make those memories and keep them stored up there, because I was just looking earlier on and I don't have one photo of me with my Uncle Tony from any time recently. And I'm just a little bit sad about that, in all honesty. I've got a picture of him with my daughter, which is lovely. But yeah, not one with me. So yeah, it's one of those things, but you live and you learn. He was a fantastic man, and he would have loved to see us get promoted through the playoffs, because he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt too. But yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not sure whether this is going to go out, but you know, that's from the heart. I've given you a little bit more than what I usually do, in terms of my life and personal things to me. So, you know, I hope people have enjoyed this somewhat. It might be a little bit of therapy for me, in all honesty. But thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for the great season. Thank you for all the support that you've given the Sheffield United way this season. The lads on the pitch, each other. It's been one hell of a ride. It's been a great season, despite the disappointing end. And yeah, loads more to come on the channel. So I'll see you soon, but this chapter's done. Thanks for watching. See you next time.